Sonic the Hedgehog is currently one of the most iconic video game characters to date. Just behind Mario, Pikachu, and debatably Steve, I'd argue Sonic is the third most popular video game character, just tied with Steve. Sonic has been popular from day one, having his great run on the Genesis, but then something happened. His rough transition into 3D. Now, I know that is a very stereotypical thing to say, and the statement's not all wrong. I wouldn't call it a rough transition, like, from what came out. Like, the only things that actually happened for this rough transition was just 3D Blast, and that's not even considered canon. So, yeah, even so, by the years, Sonic was becoming less and less iconic, and not because the games were bad, because sales were kinda going down. Now, if we look at what's the most sold Sonic game, you'll notice it is Sonic 1. And even though I know Sonic Heroes is the second most selling 3D Sonic game of all time, that's still like 12 million copies off, no? So, yeah, Sonic was becoming a lot less iconic throughout the years. And maybe it got a little better by generations, but then something happened.
Gotta go fast.
Everyone was freaking out. I was, you were, your dad's side of the family was. What have they done? It was a fierce war. Actually, no, it wasn't. Everyone kind of simultaneously just bullied Paramount out of it, and they changed the movie design. So, yeah, lots of people, when it came out, were claiming it was the best video game movie of all time. But was it really? Luckily, I've just finished watching the film, so I guess it's time for a good old retrospective. Sonic the Hedgehog has been a huge part of my life for the last 4 years. That is one heck of a while. Felt like 1 year, to be completely honest. Anyway, this movie is one to convert me. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm saying this movie made me a Sonic fan. So, yeah, I'm just gonna run you down on the story of how I got into Sonic once again. So, editor, aka me, put on a stopwatch. 3, 2, 1. Ninjago Season 15 T-Bound had left me very disappointed. I quickly figured out that I was just not into Ninjago anymore, and I remember wanting to go to a movie called Sonic the Hedgehog after I saw Frozen 2, so I watched the movie a year and a half later, got my first Sonic game, Sonic Colors Ultimate, liked the game, and became a Sonic fan. The end. Stop the timer, and yeah, now let's talk about the movie. Also, if you do want a more in-depth version of that, I'd recommend checking out my Sonic Mania video. We start in the middle of the final battle. Sonic does the whole "I know what you're thinking" trope, and then the actual beginning of the film begins. The film starts on South Island, or at least it's suggested that way, with Green Hill. Friends from Sonic Mania is playing, one of the only Sonic songs to play in a Sonic movie. Yeah, anyway, Sonic has a mother figure named Longclaw. Also, I kind of do love how Sonic has a mother figure in the film, but the real question is, where's his father? Is he adopted? Then I will do it with a hedgehog? Anyway, then Echidna Clan comes and steals Sonic from his home, and they also take the mother's life. Years pass, we get to see Thomas Wachowski, the local police officer who just wants a bigger life one day. Sonic runs by, then he's like, oh, this is suspicious, and then soon Sonic runs in the baseball field, and he causes chaos, basically. The government goes after him, Sonic and Tom team up, road trip movie happens, cool fight scene at the end. Yeah, it was pretty good. I'd say the movie overall is a 7 out of 10 for me, but when I first watched it, it was a 10 out of 10. The more I watch it, it's clear to see its more apparent flaws, but it's not one of those scenarios where the more I watch it, the worse it gets. No, I think it's staying at a 7 out of 10. Quite a decent watch, I'd definitely recommend. Sonic was in a rough spot in the late 2000s, and the early 2010s actually helped him, but then dropped almost instantly. Sonic in the late 2000s was known as broken, Sonic in the 2010s was known as boring, which is actually even worse, not counting Mania. Sonic had consistently had bad game after bad game. Some even consider Mania as a side game, meaning it just doesn't count. After Forces came out, everyone just wanted Sonic to be back, and when this movie came, it changed everything. Sonic was no longer a kid's character. He was just Sonic. Despite all the gripes people have with movie Sonic, I see him as a modern take on 90s and 2000s Sonic. The Sonic everyone missed. This movie made Sega understand that the general audience loved this version of Sonic, and started over for his character. In 2022, we got a second Sonic movie, as well as Sonic Frontiers, the game that officially saved the franchise. But would this game even have happened if it weren't for the movies? Would the old writers continue to flanderize Sonic? Would Sonic still be around? Well, I don't know. Luckily, we don't have to live in this reality. Goodbye.